Hi, Robbie here. It's another Thursday morning. It's about 9:30 or so, and I'm thinking about being skeptical today. But first, a little story. In a little while, this morning, it'll be about 10:24, a little after 10 o'clock, and a few seconds after that, it becomes 10:24. The time will be exactly 10:24:24, which happens to be the exact date on the calendar, 10:24:24. Little coincidence like that may not matter much to you or to anybody, but it does matter to me. It's something kind of cute, and I find it a little bit interesting. It's it's like other ideas that I'm finding interesting. I'm always on the lookout for new ideas. That's why I'm always reading little magazines or newsletters or books about ideas. And one of the articles that I read last night was about skepticism, about being skeptical, about being doubtful about things. And I think that I'm becoming a little too skeptical about about the world around me. You might be thinking that way too. What matters to me is that I I seem to be swimming in an ocean filled with very questionable information on all sides, especially because it's an election year. National elections and local elections are telling me what I ought to be thinking about. Everybody wants to sell me something, it seems, and I get a little skeptical because I think that too much self-interest motivates a lot of these messages. So I think I'm getting too skeptical, too doubtful, and I think skepticism like that is a bad thing. I think I ought to resist being skeptical so much, maybe a lot. I ought to be more constructive and more optimistic and more thoughtful about, more hopeful about my instinctive response to something that somebody tells me. Right now, I seem to be very inclined to doubt what people are telling me, to think that there's not a lot of truth behind what they're saying, but a lot of self-interest and self-preservation. I, I'm skeptical about almost everything I hear these days, and I think it's bad. I think I should be a lot more optimistic and a lot more hopeful, a lot more constructive. I think it'll help me in dealing with people, with friends, and I think it'll help me to have a more joyful outlook on life, and I'm sure hopeful for that. You may be feeling the same way, especially with all the questionable information that's going around these days. But that's what I'm thinking about today: being more hopeful and less doubtful, less pessimistic. Well, I'm thinking about that a lot today, and that's it for now. I'll talk with you again next Thursday.